Coming up, Marvel hits the bullseye. Join us as we discuss Daredevil, Born Again, Season 2, Episodes 2, 3, and 4. Stay tuned.
As you know, months ago, there was an attempt on my life by the masked vigilante known as Bullseye. We have reason to believe that Matt Murdock, the lawyer from Hell's Kitchen, survived the attack on his apartment. This is important because Matt Murdock is a hero.
Welcome to the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. And we are your host, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. Before we get started, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up, and that bell. That way you know when all these videos are dropping. Tex, how you doing today, buddy?
Howdy, everybody. Howdy, Arturo. If you haven't checked out our talks about Daredevil Born Again Season 2's premiere, please go back and check that out with the Morgue. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you check it out in any of the podcast feeds, we're everywhere. Please like and share, comment, review, anything that would be great. Because we are jumping right into episodes 2, 3, and 4. And this is like kind of like we're nearing the halfway point of the season. I believe it's 9 episodes in total. So we're gonna see how that kind of works out. And it's starting to take shape, right? Because in the season 2 premiere, we're reintroduced to the status quo of what's going on with Daredevil. Kingpin has basically taken control thanks to the vigilante task force, and because of that, Daredevil and his allies have pretty much like disappeared. And Daredevil and Karen are, Matt and Karen are like hiding out in like the back of a bar, trying to make it work, trying to take down the Kingpin, despite the fact that Mayor Fisk has control of the entire city. And in episodes 2, 3, and 4, we're starting to see like what that actually looks like, right? Because we've got the public opinion of him that's starting to change, because you have people out there supporting him, but he's also very much trying to control the media out there. And we have BB, who's like trying to make like an underground internet thing, like revealing the real stuff behind the Kingpin. And on top of that, you have the very real vigilante court crimes and stuff going on to arrest all the vigilantes and make an example out of them. And on top of that, you have Bullseye still out there doing his thing. And it's a lot going on. So how are you feeling about the season 2 so far, now that we're 4 episodes into it, Arturo?
Yeah, I am very happy with the season so far. As we mentioned earlier, as we came in, Marvel hit its bullseye. They are doing a great job with this show and letting the showrunners do what they need to do in order to tell this story. As we spoke about in our previous conversation, this season is a lot better in terms of story, in terms of how everything's paced. Season 1 had us a little bit all over the place.
Right.
Until it finally established itself at the end there, when Matt got shot and took the bullet from Bullseye there for Kingpin. But over here in season 2, we definitely get everything a lot tighter, as I mentioned. The story is definitely going, and we are on that train right now, Tex. Ever since it debuted with the first 2 episodes, and it showed us what kind of obstacles Matt and Daredevil and Karen are going to face in this version of New York City. Like you mentioned, Kingpin is now Kingpin, right?
Yeah,
Kingpin is
he's
back,
officially Kingpin.
officially
He's
Kingpin.
been
He's wearing the
named.
white suit
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Yes.
He has been named in documents now as Kingpin. So that name is back in the fold, which is very exciting, which definitely cranks up his villainy and his character up several notches. He's not Wilson Fisk anymore. He is the Kingpin. And this episode, episode 4, in particular, definitely shows him as getting to that throne once again. If you
Yeah.
guys are watching on YouTube, you see this image of him wearing his boxing attire. He's doing some kind of charity boxing event, and he is showing his guns here in all white, of course, right? Nice and
Yeah.
white, all decked out with a shiny bald head, and he is showing his strength to the people. He's showing that, hey, I can throw hands. I'm not afraid to do
I
this. And right?
Yeah, and what's funny about it is what sucks too is that like it would probably work like in real life, like right? Because you're
Yes.
looking at this and it seems so ridiculous of an idea, right? He's having a boxing match in like an old gym to like promote the fact that he's making the city better, right? He's improving the city with like new initiatives or whatever. Kills the guy in ring. He basically murders the guy, blood everywhere, right? And like unfortunately, I'm like I think that would work. Like it hits a little too close to home, but like
I think so too. I think, like in these
yeah,
times, in this version of This America, it would definitely work. And I was thinking the same thing when I was watching. I'm like, hey, people would eat this
yeah,
in real life today, man.
yeah, right. Because you're like, it seems ridiculous, but also it's like, it would work. There'd be a politician out there who would make this work, and and this is why the show does so well. Because on top of that, you have like this dynamic, his fist dynamic with Vanessa, who he does everything for. Like he does everything for, and like like he lives for Vanessa, and he lives for like what she thinks of him, right? And even to the point where now like it's kind of the same with her too. Like we've seen her
Mhm.
go out on a limb for Fisk, and we see her in episode 4 like literally putting herself in harm's way because she's like, well, I need to be there for this boxing match and for this public appearance, even though it was a setup to trap Bullseye in it. And like then you get to the end of the episode. Once again, full spoilers for everything.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, she did. So yeah, like
I tell you, she did.
yeah, like she's dead. Like okay, once again, like so wild comic book sequences, right? This is like, yes, it's Marvel, but also like they killed off a character in like the wildest kind of way, right? So this was a trap for Bullseye. Bullseye ultimately decides to go with it. He goes and attacks the boxing gym, all that stuff just as expected. Throws like a glass souvenir that they were selling at Fisk. Fisk blocks it with a belt, breaks it apart, right? And it's like, not only that, it's the boxing championship belt that he was
Yeah.
apparently fighting for, right? And a piece lodges in Vanessa's head. And this is the wildest thing, right? Because it's not like Bullseye didn't directly kill her. It's technically Fisk killing her because he
Friendly
breaks the
fire,
glass.
collateral
Yeah,
damage. Yeah,
it's so
100%.
wild.
And I love, the actual the souvenir because it's
Y-
like it's a souvenir, a glass souvenir of the city, and then in the middle is like the head of Wilson Fisk. So it's funny seeing that travel, and eventually where it ends up is lodged in Vanessa's temple,
Yeah,
and
real
in that,
comic book, but real work. Like
yes,
it's one of those things where it's like, this is so comic booky, but like that's why it works, right? Because it's like, oh, it's just such a like a twisted kind of thing to
it's a
do.
great
Yeah,
reveal too because you
yeah,
think they're unharmed. You think, oh, Bullseye didn't get her, but then you pan out and you see the damage. And honestly, man, this is going to lead to some exciting things. I feel now we have an unhinged Wilson Fisk running around the city without the person who had him on a leash,
no
right?
kidding, right?
And
Yeah, great point.
if if you guys have seen episode 4, there is a moment where Vanessa is actually having a one-on-one meeting with the governor because the governor would rather do business knowing that Vanessa and Wilson Fisk are together, knowing that Vanessa is holding the reins there, right? But
Yeah.
now those reins are gone. And oh my God, Tex, I cannot wait for episode 5 where we find out how Fisk is dealing with all this, man.
Yeah.
We see him just like go into this like Darth Vader, no kind of thing at the
Yeah.
end. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man,
Yeah. Because
everyone is effed, bro.
you're right. Because what does it mean for like the task force too, right? Because like by this episode, we've already seen episode 2, we've seen it episode 3, where they're straight up like kidnapping people off the street now, going full. Unfortunately, once again, looking a lot like in some situations going on right now that we can't get into for nature of the show, but like they were being kept in like in a warehouse at
In
Red
a
Hook in
warehouse.
those
Yep.
cages that we've seen. And in episode 3, we finally get Daredevil like breaking them out and finding them there. It's like he went searching for weapons, found the people instead. And like awesome fight scene in season 3, by the way, because we finally get like because Tony Dalton as Swordmaster, we see it. We first introduced him in Hawkeye, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. He's the guy who collects swords.
Yeah, word, right?
But now with this show, we finally get to see him do some like what he does, and
Some
like
badass stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome, and it got Matt like an ally he needed, an ally who's gonna fund him. You know what I mean? So like it's stuff like that, and like that was a cool scene breaking out. But more importantly, it shows you how far this stuff has already gone, right? To the point where like if now that Fisk no longer has those guardrails behind him, like how much further is this going to go? And not only that, you have like characters like Bullseye, who like in episode 4, we finally get like a focus on him. And it's dope because like he's been a ghost through this show so far. I think more so in season 2, because like in season 1, he started off by killing Foggy, right?
Yeah.
But it's not until now that he's finally getting some juice, right? Some like real material to chew on, because we get this look into his life that he's living, but then like he also like calls in a raid on himself basically to kill all the vigilante guys. And
Very
like
awesome.
it's cool moment too, because then you get the Bullseye logo going full like Arturo. Though the only thing I'm missing, I need the white target on his head, because
Yeah, man.
that's the
Listen,
one thing I'm missing, dude.
um, I'm not sure whether that was an intentional design, like to try and ground everything.
Right.
Um, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, you see Bullseye in his full Marvel getup, and there is a bullseye there on his balaclava, but it's in the same color as the actual
Yeah.
suit itself. So it kind of gets lost in translation there. It's very faint. It is effective there, but man, if we get a little, a dirty spray paint target, that'd be pretty
I
dope.
just like
Hopefully by
just
the end
do
of the
it.
season, I don't know, man, but you're absolutely right. That white target definitely would peak so hard, bro, because it's so apparent and it would look so good on that suit too, man.
Yeah, like
But
yeah.
again, I am so happy that they are doing Bullseye justice. He's a hard character to translate to television. We saw what they tried to do in the feature film back in the early 2000s with Colin
Right.
Farrell and
Right.
and the Ben Affleck Daredevil there. Not the best iteration of Bullseye. Colin Farrell did his best, but the material was very lackluster. But now we have a real version of Bullseye that we can actually sink our teeth into and be proud of, especially in that diner scene, as Tex was mentioning, where he called the raid on himself in order to just showcase his skills to us. And
Yeah.
I am very happy with that. As you can see, he throws a bunch of different things. At one point, I think he killed somebody with a lobster, right? Or was that in the
Yeah.
diner scene? Or was that somewhere else?
Yeah,
But he's going
he
crazy. I love it.
he throws a lobster at somebody. He really does. And you're right, Arturo, in that like because Bullseye is like an important character to Daredevil, right? Like
Very, very important. Yeah.
I'm not like super experienced with the comics, but even I know that like he's I guess for lack of a better comparison, he's like the Venom, right? He's like
He's
he
his
is
Joker, actually.
yes,
Yeah,
he's the
he's his Joker.
counterpart, right?
Mhm, for sure.
He's like the direct counterpart to Matt's abilities, and like it it's kind of like on that yin and yang type of thing, because while Matt
Yes.
can hear everything, right, Bullseye can see everything, and that is the correlation between the two. And it's cool too, like with season 2, we're also starting to get more of Matt's hearing powers too,
Mhm.
because like he also finds Bullseye's apartment by like kind of searching through sounds for him, and it's super cool because it's like
Yeah.
really far away when he does it too. It's neat in this.
Listen, he has hearing powers and so much. He has like this crazy sonar power where he can shave his chest full clean, and expose his awesome
yo,
abs.
yo,
And I'm like, I
yo,
never seen somebody without the ability to see be so
yeah,
clean shaven.
yeah. I appreciate like yeah, because Matt knows his like he can ski with his hearing so well that he can finally detail how to manscape
He's like,
every
I can
part of
hear
his
my
chest.
follicles growing in a certain
Yeah, yeah.
place.
Shout outs to Matt Murdock. Shout outs to Daryl Ward again for giving us that slice of cheesecake for this.
Shout
Because
out to
it's
Charlie
so
Cox too, man. Who would have
yo,
thought?
shout
The
outs to
dude's
Charlie
jacked,
Cox.
bro.
Yo, like
Hiding under that suit. Who knew?
yo. Yeah, it's like, yo, you're hiding too much of the suit, man. Stop wearing that suit so much. But just just shout out, but like on that same vein too, like the Bullseye stuff, I'm super curious to see where it goes because it's like they're everything feels right? Because like
Yes.
I remember watching the Netflix show, and by the time Bullseye gets in like season 3, you're like, because that was when interest was kind of waning. We got like
Yeah.
by that point we got
Yeah.
Luke Cage. By that point we got season 1 of Iron Fist already. We were already getting
Yeah,
Jessica
because
Jones
it
season
peaked with the
2.
hand stuff in season 2 when Elektra came about. Was that season 2 or
Yeah,
season 3? I forget which one it was, but
it was about season 2 because
yeah.
the hand stuff really came in with like the Defenders crossover and all that stuff. We'll see if that pays off. We'll see if that even comes back in this. We're getting Jessica Jones, so like
Yeah.
we might get Luke Cage and Iron Fist in the future. We'll just have to see what that means.
It'd be dope if we get some Punisher too in this thing. Like being that we see him in Brand New Day as well. We spoke about that, buddies at home. Go check that out. It's in our archives. Like, subscribe, and share, please. But yeah,
Yeah,
we see Defenders coming in, but I'm curious. And even we have a mention. Karen even mentions him. Hey, you don't want to call Frank about for this because we know what Frank can do. And Matt's
yeah.
like, no, he's a madman.
Yeah, and they don't know where he is. Like that's the other
Correct.
thing too. Like they just like say he's out doing stuff. And so speaking of Punisher, Arturo, Punisher's kind of like an interesting situation because the Marvel and Disney have also announced the Punisher One Last Kill as another special presentation, which means like it's going to be like an hour, basically like the same length as like an episode of the show, but it's coming out on May 12th, which is immediately after season 2 ends. So like
Mm.
it's not I don't know if that I don't necessarily think it means like it's tied directly into Daredevil season 2. It's more just like here's an extra thing. It feels like when you pre-order a game, right? You're like you pre-order a game, and they're like, okay, well here's a special mission you can do with like that
Yeah.
you can do with this side character
Yeah,
that you
special
wouldn't get
map,
to do.
right?
Yes, yeah. Here's the Punisher level for the Daredevil game, and this is kind of what this feels like to me. Of like, here's the Punisher episode that we wouldn't really get into fit into Daredevil season 2 otherwise. So like, here it is here. And because remember in that first season, the last thing we saw of him was that he was in the cage. He was caught by the ATVF,
Mhm.
and like then he broke out. So I don't know if this is like explaining what happened to him after he broke out, but this is kind of like leading to, once again, like you said, Arturo, I think this is leading to Spider-Man Brand New Day to at least be like explaining why he's not in Daredevil season 2, but also why he is the way he is in Spider-Man, right? So
Question,
like,
Tex.
yeah.
Question to you, my resident comic expert. Do you think that they finally realized, hey, we can use these characters like in the comics? Why follow the same Punisher story that's going on TV when we can just grab the character, throw him in the Spider-Man thing and act like, he's just Punisher. He's just showing up. You know what I mean?
So
So
I
I'm curious about your thoughts on that.
so I think that's tougher to do. I like so we got the first trailer for the Punisher One Last Kill, and it does kind of tease that. It basically teased that this is just going to be like a one-shot comic story, and
Mhm.
it is written by, yeah, I think he's helping to write it, John Bernthal,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
awesome. Like
Executive producer too.
yeah, he has a creative vision and he's executing it with this story. So like I can't wait to see what that is. But
Mhm.
like it's harder to do that and then put him in Spider-Man Brand New Day because it's different with live action actors. I believe I can't remember the conversation we've had on the Morgue buddies at home. I apologize which specific episode it was, but it was when we touched on the idea of bringing in characters from one thing into another.
Our conversation for Supergirl.
Okay.
where we were wondering where that whole thing lied in the whole
Yeah.
spectrum there.
Yeah, it's tough to do it with live action actors because because we as people, the way we watch movies, the way we absorb entertainment, the way we absorb things, you kind of put a face to the character, right? And
True.
especially when they've done it for such a long time. And this is why like reboots in general just always have trouble with reinventing characters, right? Because it's like with Daredevil Born Again. Here we go, tying it right back into Daredevil. With that first season, it was essentially a reboot of the show within this new Marvel universe. But when people started watching the Netflix actors do this stuff, people automatically were like, well, then they're the Netflix characters. And
Yeah.
so this is why, like, it's likely we're going to see Marvel doing this more of like dropping characters in whatever like movie story they want because that's how the Marvel world works. What's going to be interesting is whether or not they take the time to bother explaining or feel the need to explain why they are there and doing what they're doing. Because, as people watching live action actors taking on these moments, you're automatically going to be like, oh, well, this is the Punisher I just
Yeah.
watched in that special,
That's a
right?
great point. Mhm.
He can't be another version of Punisher. You know what I mean? Like, let's say Matt Murdock was already in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? You, as people, we just kind of assume, oh, well, it's the same Matt Murdock that I've been watching in Daredevil Born Again
True.
season 2. Oh, this is the same Matt Murdock from the Netflix shows. You wouldn't necessarily think that, oh, same actor, different character or different version of the actor.
Mm.
Yes, it's multiverse and all that, but even like it's something Doomsday is going to have to deal with in like
Yeah.
getting people to understand same actor, technically same character, but have to explicitly say this is a different person. This is a different character on top of you. You get what I mean? Where
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
we're
That
going to
just
see
means
this,
Iron
but
Man's
this is a
coming
true.
back on Doomsday, baby.
Yeah. They're going to
Right?
have to do that.
Right?
That's the thing, right?
It's
They're going to
gonna
have to. Yeah.
because like you eloquently put it, man, we as people relate things in a
Yes.
certain way, right? And with Doomsday, this is a different property, right? With Doomsday, bringing back Robert Downey Jr., our minds and hearts are still with him being Iron Man. So you're absolutely right. I think uh, it is going to be a very intriguing thing to see down the line as we conclude the last episodes of Daredevil, where Frank Castle is going to fall. Where is Daredevil
Yeah.
going to fall? His defenders. We know that Jessica Jones is coming back. Everyone's seen the behind the scenes stuff out there
Yeah. It was
on the
like, I didn't want
interwebs
to.
with Luke
Yeah.
Cage and Iron Fist coming back. So we know that's happening. To what extent we don't know. Are they coming in to dethrone the kingpin? Because like we said, in Brand New Day, right? It's somebody else handing them the key to the city. It's not Kingpin anymore. So there's a lot of questions out there, buddies. Let us know in the comments what you guys thought about episodes 2, 3, and 4, and what you guys think about this whole Daredevil Punisher thing, where Punisher's going, how Last Kill is gonna end up. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Morgue, where we dissect the latest and greatest in the world of entertainment. We are your hosts, Arturo Padilla, along with Mr. Nick Valdez. Big shout out goes to you guys out there for listening and for watching. We have all these episodes up on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast streams. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell. Give us some stars, some reviews. We would highly appreciate it. Big shout out goes to Delvirus for all the artwork you've seen in front of you throughout the years. And last but not least, buddies, always remember it is a scary world out there, especially when you're dealing with Kingpin. But we are here to walk you through it.